As if Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't creepy enough, Poppy Playtime is a thing, and I thought, why not? Let's cover the series and see what these creepy toys get up to. Let's get straight into the story. We are given a very small piece of background information as we head into our new story. Firstly, we are an ex-employee of Playtime Corporation and have returned to the factory after everybody within the factory went missing. A short video plays as the gentleman tells us about a brand new doll named Poppy that has just been invented, calling it the most intelligent doll in the world. Poppy can apparently have an entire conversation with a child. It actually has the ability to answer questions, and they even have a goddamn advertisement for it. For just $2.99, you too can be murdered by Annabelle's distant cousin. Come, join us at Poppy's Playtime. Yeah, I don't think so, pal. We get ourselves a letter stating that everybody thinks that the people disappeared 10 years ago, but they're all still there, and to just simply find the flower. If you've been missing for 10 years, and you're sending me cryptic messages in the mail, you better believe I am not replying to that crap. That is some serial killer type of bait that quite frankly I will not fall for, but we wouldn't have a game if we had common sense, so here we are, inside one of the creepiest damn buildings imaginable. We have trains that move on their own, and decade-old VHS tapes that we can get some backstory from. Firstly, we hear about a man named Leith Pierre. He is the head of innovation at Playtime Co. Toy Factory. The tape in question is actually played on loop whenever the factory is empty, so he points out that if you're hearing this tape, that means that you're an intruder. Playtime Corporation specializes in both children's toys and deadly security protocols. It gives us a warning telling us to leave if we know what's good for us. And of course we choose to ignore that threat and face the threat head on. Another VHS tape explains a contraption used around the factory called a grab pack. It's essentially a jetpack with hands. Something I think that even Elon Musk would be quite proud of, to be honest. Introducing our very first creepy puppet. Created in 1984, this is Huggy Wuggy. Yes, that is the name. Remember that these hellspawns are meant for children. Huggy Wuggy is considered by Playtime Corporation as being one of the best toys for connecting people together. The founder of the company, Elliot Ludwig, created Huggy Wuggy with the intention of being able to hug you forever. It was a success by using Playtime Co.'s 4-step process to create lifelike toys, and is actually the most popular and best-selling toy that they have so far. Doing some puzzles gives us a key and we can continue further into this hellscape. We have to divert some power around and find a company poster that pretty much points out that old Pierre didn't like getting spooked very much. When we arrive back out, Huggy Wuggy is gone. Of course it is. Another VHS tape suggests that Huggy Wuggy's boxes have been going missing on a regular basis, according to the workers, mentioning how the toys are meant for orphans, since the whole hugging thing. But they've been getting a lot of heat from the higher-ups for constantly misplacing the boxes. We get ourselves our first upgrade by finding our right hand for the grab pack, and head further into the facility. This time to a type of toy assembly area called a Maker-Friend. Elliot Ludwig invented the Maker-Friend machine in 1960 and is deemed one of the most creative, impressive, and advanced things that he has ever created. It is solely responsible for every single Playtime Co. toy sold on the market today, using parts and paint to assemble the toy, and can even do a quality inspection on its own. Essentially, this machine is responsible for probably hundreds of people losing their jobs, in all reality, but quite an impressive piece of machinery, especially for the 1960s. Another VHS tape is an interview with a Playtime Co. employee named Stella. She is asked why she wanted to work at the facility, stating that she has loved playing with toys when she was young and seeing it as magical. And she wanted to provide kids with the same magical experience that she felt as a kid. Then she goes really deep and quite morbid, explaining how you don't really ever stop being a kid. Your body just gets older and older, and while you're still a kid deep down, you just sort of get old until you die, pointing out how human bodies can't handle getting older, while things like trees can stay alive for much longer than a person. The oldest person to ever live is still younger than most trees, pointing out that being young is always relative to something else. Just the sort of morbid conversation that we need from our child toy maker employee. Great stuff. We get the machine up and running and begin feeding parts into the Maker-Friend machine until it pops out this little cat bee thing. Using the toy, we can exit the room, since nobody can leave without a toy. Holy crap! Some frantic running through the tunnels, and some close calls later, we can find writing on much of the tunnels, saying things such as stop, turn back, and danger. We send Huggy Wuggy on his way into the depths of the facility, which is apparently hundreds of feet deep. Surprisingly, they seriously have an entire evil lair here. What is also quite interesting is the fact that Huggy Wuggy, which is supposed to be a toy, seems to be leaving an awful lot of bloodstains wherever it hit on his way down. A great lack of stuffing, which is quite concerning to say the least. Another VHS is a log of an employee in relation to something codenamed 1006, named the Prototype. It mentions how coordination and cooperation are part of its skill set, much like the other experiments of his type, pointing out that the missing people are likely in relation to him, and that his absence was a flaw in the scientific process, since he should never have been unaccounted for. This log serves as a lesson and warning going forward to new employees. Future experiments are to be contained and disposed of in a secure location. The person speaking goes on a bit of a rant about how great he is and what this means for science before biting the bullet, just like the rest of them. We can find the big flower that references the flower mentioned at the beginning on the letter from the missing people. Totally not a trap at all. Not to mention our little bee cat friend from earlier is now hung from the roof with blood on it and numerous written warnings. So nothing ominous about this situation in the slightest. We head inside to a much better decorated area, if I don't say so myself. Look, they actually have wallpaper and lights. There is, however, a creepy room down the hall that leads directly to the Poppy doll. Remember when I called Poppy the cousin of Annabelle? Well, I mean, look at the casing. You cannot tell me that that is not a reference to the real doll. Poppy awakes and mentions how we opened her case and it cuts to black. And thus marks the end of Poppy Playtime Chapter 1. However, I do want to share a hidden VHS that could be watched on the Mob Entertainment YouTube channel, which gives some insight into Poppy. The VHS tape is titled Poppy Playtime Doll Maintenance Video and had a clear warning to not actually continue watching the tape. A warning that we will continue to ignore because this is a horror game, damn it, and we will never heed any warnings. First step, paint her face. Second step, polish her shoes. Then we just skip 3 steps and brush her hair. Now we've thrown steps out altogether. What the hell is going on here? So it seems that Poppy also has human blood, and the maintenance person has removed what appears to be a device from her back. She is all better now, still creepy as all hell, but better. Now, with that being concluded, we have finished all of the story information that we get from the very first chapter of Poppy Playtime. If you are watching this, that means that the newly released Chapter 3 is already on the channel, and Chapter 2 will be released in a couple of days on the channel as well, so keep an eye out for them. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, of course, like the video as it helps us out a heap. Until next time, peace.